Hey, welcome back to The Dive. Today on the show, we welcome back the CEO of First Majestic, Keith Neumeyer. Keith's joining us today to share his take on the current state of the silver market, his thoughts on the US government not including silver on the top 50 critical minerals list. He's also going to give us an update on First Majestic. He'll talk a bit about their new minting facility that's in the works in Nevada, the company's recent sale of a past-producing silver mine. He will also address some of the flack that he's getting online from the keyboard warriors or naysayers, as well as let us know what to look forward to with the company for the remainder of the year. Hey Keith, welcome back to The Dive. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's very nice seeing you again, Cassandra.
It's nice to see you too, Keith. Okay, so Keith, historically, silver has played a role as a safe haven asset during economic uncertainties. Given the current inflationary environment, how do you view silver's position as an investment option?
Well, I think silver is always an investment option. I look at silver as a very much a strategic metal, something that I believe is probably the most misunderstood metal there is on the planet. Everything we do as a human race, including this call, requires silver. We're seeing silver being consumed in technologies around the world, even new technologies that are coming into being, like AI, for example. Look at last year in 2022, the mining sector, produced around 850 million ounces of silver, which is basically flatlined for almost the entire decade. We've not produced any more ounces. We seem to be at the maximum amount of silver that the mining sector can produce. Yet the world consumption is increasing every year. We saw 1.2 billion ounces of silver consumed in 2022. There's speculation that 1.4 billion ounces are going to be consumed in 2023. We'll see what that number actually turns out to be. But in this environment where governments are pushing green energy, where we're trying to get off oil and gas, and we're trying to electrify the planet in different ways, whether it's nuclear or electric, whatever the case may be, all of these new technologies require silver. And, people are just not thinking about it.
So that being said, how do you react to the US government not including silver in their list of top 50 critical minerals? And what implications might this have for the industry?
Well, your timing of that question is quite good. And you probably don't even know the answer because we didn't talk about this. But there was a meeting yesterday in the House of, I guess in Washington, D.C., and I could send you a link to the article. But when that news came out a few months ago, that because the United States published a list of critical metals, and there were some metals on there that, quite frankly, I've never even heard of, and silver was not there, and it was shocking to us. And we've been in discussions with the Silver Institute about that, and our girl here internally who runs our ESG department, her name's Jillian, and she's been lobbying the committees, the people that are responsible for this type of thing. And just yesterday morning, we received a news release from that meeting that took place. And you've got to see this. And they included silver in the list of critical metals. So we have a win. We have a win, and it was really great to see.
Oh, that's great. Okay, well, let's move on and talk about First Majestic. The company just announced that it will be opening a minting facility in Nevada. What is the strategic rationale for this decision?
Well, we launched this side of the business back in 08, 09. It was a result of really just supplying silver to the public. There seemed to be a need or a demand for it. So we started off small, and over the years, it's grown and grown and grown. And in 2022, we hit a record sales number, which was quite nice to see. And then we started running into bottlenecks whereby mints basically stopped producing for us. Whether we were competing with them, whether we were getting into their business, I'm not exactly sure. I know the owners of the mints that we were using. I've spoken to the owners of the mints, and I know they're not particularly thrilled with our decision, but quite honestly, when we would produce ounces, we produce ounces in Mexico, or mostly in Mexico, up until Jarrett Canyon, but most of all the silver comes from Mexico, goes in the United States in the form of dory bars. And these dory bars are then sent to a refinery, in our case, mostly Salt Lake City, where it gets refined. It takes a few weeks, and this 1,000 ounce bar gets spit out the back of this refinery, and we still own it. And that 1,000 ounce bar then gets shipped to a mint. And we then tell the mint what to make it into, whether it's 1 ounce rounds, ingots or kilo bars or whatever the case may be. And we wait 4 to 6 months for that metal to be put into a product that we can sell. And so our inventory then is required to be quite high because the movement of this metal basically is so small. So, the mints limit us to a very small amount of ounces per month. And in our view, our revenues in 2023 could probably be at least 3 to 4, maybe 5 times higher than what they are currently, just based on this bottleneck. So we decided, hey, break that bottleneck. We're tired of being slowed down by the minting industry, and we're going to open our own mint. So we've been working on it for the last year. We were very capable of, we're very happy, pardon me, of hiring some very key individuals that are experts in this industry. Obviously, we're we're a mining company, and to open up a new mint is a little bit of a different business for us. But we're blessed with quite a great team of people, excited people, and they're on site today. They're on site every day. We just had the vaults put in this last week. All the equipment's on site. We're just waiting for the city there to sign off on a couple additional permits we need to get it all done. We should be making our first bars, I hope, in November, and we hope to have a pretty exciting 2024 with this new business.
Yeah, definitely. That's so exciting. Okay, now the company has notably caught some flack on Twitter as a result of tough market conditions. What is your strategy to combat the naysayers?
Well, I was I learned something quite early in my life. I was the president of my grad class in grade 12, and I thought everyone was my friends. And when I started coming up with ideas of what we should be doing, and what kind of fundraisers we should be doing to raise funds for the fun things we wanted to do throughout the year, it was amazing how much of disagreement I had among the grad class. And I was thinking, why? It's the strangest thing. Like, I would have just thought everyone would have agreed with me, and they would have followed in line, and we would have gone our happily merry way. But that was not the case. So same as shareholders, we do our best. We're not infallible. We're humans. We do make mistakes. Hopefully not too many. But it is a very complex business. Mining has got to be one of the most complicated businesses on the planet, and there's many, many moving parts. The stuff that we have to do on a daily basis would astound most people. And we have 5,000 employees. We have offices in 5 countries, and it's a big organization to manage. We got 700 million in revenue. That is through the sales of our products, and it's a lot of money to manage as well. M&A is key. It's tough to make the right M&A decisions because we're always looking for ways to grow the business. And I think for the most part, over the last, this is our 20th year. 2024 is our 20th year anniversary, so kind of nice. And I think over the last 20 years, for the most part, I think we've done pretty darn good. But I have to admit, every decision has not worked out according to plan, but most have. So.
Okay. So First Majestic recently closed on the sale of the past producing La Perilla silver mine in Mexico. What was the rationale behind this sale?
Yeah, as the company gets bigger and bigger, for us to have a million ounce producer, as in the case of Perilla, it takes the same amount of costs. You still have 500 employees, you still have your normal costs, and mining is an expensive business, particularly with all the things we need to do, and currency risk, inflation risk, and so our job ultimately is to make a profit on the bottom line, and a million ounces a year with the size of the company that we have, it just doesn't add enough revenue to the top line to really turn a profit. For a smaller company, that would be a great little asset, and that's the group that we sold that asset to. We are assisting on the side. We're a big shareholder of that company as a result of that sale, and we're very optimistic that they can get that mine back up and running and get that community back up to its historic levels. I remember when I first arrived in that community in 2003. There was not a single school in town that had children in it. Over the following decade, we had kids. We had two schools, an elementary and a senior school. Kids with uniforms, we had a movie theater, we had a few general stores, we had paved roadways. We had about 2,500 people lived in that town. A bustling little community, and we did that. But over time, of course, mines do eventually die off, because they either need more money or they run out of metal. In this case, we had other focuses. We purchased San Dimas, which is a very, very large mine. Takes a lot of capital. We bought Centilene as well, which is also requires a lot of capital. So it's all how much capital, where do we put it? What's the best use of our time and what's the best use of our capital? And unfortunately, smaller mines get put aside, and our job is to find new partners for them. We found a great new partner for the La Catera mine, which we sold about 6 months ago. This recent sale of La Perilla, we were hoping they turn out to be a good partner as well. We've got two other mines currently up for sale, the Del Toro mine and the San Martin mine. And we're hoping to find good partners for those two mines as well.
From a strategy standpoint, do you prefer to turn exploration assets into operating mines or simply acquire undervalued projects that are already producing?
Yeah, I'm not a geologist. I like to go to Vegas, but there's a limit. So when I get a exploration budget from one of our geologists, I think we employ something like 300 geologists, and they want to spend a lot of money, and they want to drill a lot of holes. But at the end of the day, we have to produce ounces. That's what we get paid for. And that's what our investors expect us. So yes, as a mining company, we do exploration, but not generally from a grassroots perspective, because it takes so long, from discovery to production. And I'm the chairman of another company called First Gold. People may know me from that company as well, and they have been permitting one mine for 7 years, and it's likely going to take another 1 or 2 years to get, or maybe 2 or 3 years. We don't know. Permits are always subject to government, inclination and decision and so on and so forth. So whenever that permit arrives, it's a little bit of a guessing game, and you just wait on it. You got to finance it. It's expensive. You got to keep the people in place. But once you get your permit, then everything changes. You become often a very large company. Hopefully that's the case with First Gold. So for First Majestic Silver, I've focused on buying assets that we could either in production right away or can be brought into production almost immediately. They've got the permits in place, the metal's there, the mill may or may not have been built. We're looking at some potential M&A transactions right now where they're halfway through construction, running into financial difficulties. We could come in and help, or assets that are currently in production that need some tweaking. They need some additional capital to improve their operations, and the current company doesn't have the capital to do it. With us, a bigger balance sheet, bigger company, we could come in and improve some of these operations that are currently struggling. So, I'd rather spend my time, fixing current mines. We've done a good job doing that.
Okay, so lastly, Keith, before we let you go here, what milestones can investors look forward to for the remainder of the year?
Well, corporate milestones, I think that, I want to see, the treasury growth in Q3, Q4. Let's be frank, we had a tough Q1. We made a tough decision closing down one of our mines that was burning a substantial amount of cash due to all kinds of different circumstances, which we don't have time to talk to about in a venue like this. But we did make that tough decision. So we had Q1, Q2 that were pretty challenging. A big severance packages getting paid out due to all the layoffs we did in Q2. So tens of millions of dollars were paid out in severance in Q2, which of course affects our financial situation. Q3, we've seen improvements. Q4, I hope to see further improvements. Well, drilling is continually going on at Santa Elena. Many people who follow First Majestic might know of the major discovery that we made at Santa Elena called Ermitaño. 100% of the ore have been coming from Ermitaño for the last year and a half. We've got a couple of really cool and exciting discoveries there, close to the mill, close to that area. We touched on one in a previous news release. Looks like there actually might be another one, which we hope to talk about in the next couple of months. So look for some really exciting, positive, exploratory news, exploration news on Santa Elena. And at San Dimas, it's steady state. San Dimas is a monster mine of ours. We're always looking to try to drive down costs and fight inflation. And, maybe that's something investors don't worry too much about. But I can tell you as a CEO, we're always looking at driving down costs. And we hope to end 2023 on a very positive note from a production basis, turning around the business from first couple of quarters of 2023 was quite an effort for the business, and I congratulate management for the position that we're in today, and we're in very, very strong position for a very successful 2024.
Okay, great. Well, Keith, thank you so much for coming on today and giving us and our audience the update on First Majestic.
Great. Thanks, Cassandra.
Thank you so much for watching today. We will be back with more videos like this. So if you enjoyed this one, be sure to hit that subscribe button below me there and maybe even that notification bell so you don't miss out on the next one. Bye.